Tonight, in Our News Live at 7, the debate even before the parliamentary debate gets started. Reactions tonight to the Prime Minister's budget communication and claims of a balanced budget. I sat down with a government and opposition senator earlier today to discuss if the numbers add up or not. A dramatic scene in the busy Mullet Marathon today as an elderly man collapses and dies in a traumatic turn of events caught by Our News cameras. And a jury hands down a guilty verdict today in a case of a 43-year-old man accused of raping a 9-year-old girl. The victim told the court how the accused threatened to kill her after he raped her. And then in Our News at 7:30, we are back on reactions to the budget communication. Some Grand Bahamians weigh in on the proposed new VAT cuts and duty exemptions. Our News Live at 7 starts right now. This is Our News Live at 7. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Jerome Sawyer in for Kindy Knowles. Balanced or not? A day after the Prime Minister's budget communication and claims of a balanced budget, the debate has already started outside of Parliament over whether the numbers add up. Earlier today, two opposing senators offered different views on the government's latest balance sheet. Our Berthany McDermott gets us started tonight.
As speculation looms over the Davis administration's reporting that the end of the 2024-2025 budget year will be a balanced budget, PLP Senator Darren Pickstock is seeking to clarify the government's position. While addressing the 2025-2026 budget communication in Parliament Wednesday, Prime Minister Philip Davis called it a first for the Bahamas since gaining independence. Pickstock explaining that it simply means government revenue outweighs government expenditure.
A balanced budget is simply a concept where expenditure does not exceed revenue. That is a simple concept. And what the government is saying is our expenditure did not exceed our revenue. And therefore we have balanced the budget and we have a surplus. And that is as simple as it.
But the Free National Movement isn't buying it. While appearing as a guest on RTV's On the Record with host Jerome Sawyer, F&M Senator Michael O'Brien at Ellis says the idea of a surplus is not so and it's misleading. She says the government achieved a surplus budget under the Minnis administration in the 2020-2021 budget.
The question is there really a surplus? Because we know during the mid-year budget that there was a deficit of almost 381 million and that there was 122 million in unpaid invoices. So the question is, have they continued to defer the payments of that so that they could appear to have a balanced budget with a surplus? And then there's also reference to monies that they're borrowing. So have we borrowed so much money that we have a little left over? It doesn't make sense. The math, this is PLP math.
On the other hand, Pickstock says the balanced budget comes as the government is a good steward of the public purse. Many have questioned the government's announcement when there is a little over a month left in the fiscal year and as the government still has a deficit and a debt to repay. But Pickstock says the numbers speak for themselves. He sought to answer one question: how could the budget be balanced with many unpaid bills on the government's lap?
You asked whether there is payment outstanding for contractors, the nurses. There are indeed concerns with payments to contractors, but that is what the budget is also addressing.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Now, for more on that discussion, be sure and tune into On the Record tonight immediately after Our News at 7:30 with our Italia Hall. Well, the hurricane season starts this weekend, and for the next 5 months, all eyes will be on the busy Atlantic where our major storms are formed and grow. There are preparations countrywide, which includes hurricane shelters. Now, the Central Pines Hurricane Shelter in Abaco has been under construction since 2021. It started after Monster Storm Dorian ravaged Abaco back in 2019, but budget overruns and structural issues continue to delay that completion. State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Leon Lundy, confirming that it still will not be ready for the season opener on June 1st.
The date that we got was July the 1st, and it's still on schedule to be opened up July the 1st, and we're looking forward to that being opened and it being there in case we have any incidents. God forbid we do, but definitely it would be ready in case we have any incidents in Abaco.
Well, a traumatic turn of events at the mall at Marathon this afternoon after an elderly man collapses and dies near the Kelly's house and home entrance. The incident happening shortly after 1 today, leaving mall customers shocked and in some cases traumatized. Our News cameras caught mall security responding swiftly, cordoning off the area as stunned onlookers gathered. Police and EMS were called and declared him dead at the scene. Police confirming for us that it was, in fact, a sudden death. Well, a jury unanimously convicting a 43-year-old man of raping a 9-year-old girl today. Keenald Romaine was found guilty of the November 2020 rape of a minor. He is now in custody awaiting sentencing. Justice Janine Weish Gomez will hold that sentencing hearing on June 19. The now 13-year-old told jurors that Romaine threatened to kill her after he raped her back in November of 2020. The child was admitted to hospital after she tested positive for a sexually transmitted infection. A U.S. Navy-guided missile destroyer is calling the port of Nassau home, at least for the next few days. Officials say it's part of a deliberate effort to strengthen defense partnerships while also getting involved in the community. Based out of Norfolk, Virginia, the 510-foot warship bears the name of Vice Admiral Samuel L. Garvey Jr. Garvey is the first African-American to command a U.S. warship in combat. His legacy of first also inspires the crew's motto, First to Conquer. The ship recently returned from combat duty in the Red Sea. Leading the crew is a 20-year Navy vet commander, Greg Porian.
We're strengthening and reinforcing our partnership with the Bahamas. We have a very good relationship, and the opportunity to come in and strengthen that relationship is fantastic and is one we look very much forward to. We're going to be working, getting an RBDF shipwriter underway with us, a member of the RBDF underway, so they can see how a ship operates, and we're also going to be doing a community service event in the next couple of days and to take care of some underprivileged children in the area and do some good work at one of the local hostels.
Well, Gravely's crew also recently completed a major operation in the Central Caribbean, seizing nearly 400 kilos of cocaine and detaining 3 smugglers in the process.
Really the jack of all trades, so we can do air warfare, we can do surface warfare, electronic warfare, strike warfare, anti-submarine warfare, and some of the capabilities or weapon systems, we have to do all of that. We've got a 5-inch cannon up forward. We've got 2 vertical launching systems which house a number of different missiles that the ship carries. So from Tomahawks for strike warfare, for standard missiles for self-defense engagement, vertical launched anti-submarine rockets for anti-submarine warfare.
Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures on the outside. Our meteorologist Ian McKenzie is standing by in the Weather Center with our first look at weather tonight. Ian.
Thanks, Jerome, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Thursday evening forecast. Currently outside our studios, we're under mostly clear skies with a temperature of 85. Feels like very warm at 92. Winds are from the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour. Temperatures across the country at this time in our nation's second city, Freeport, we have 84, continuing in Allenstown, Nicholstown, and in Great Harbor Key. 83s in Marsh Harbor and Governor's Harbor, and 85 in the capital. Central Bahamas, 85s continuing in Camps Bay as well as Georgetown. 83s in Black Point, Arthurstown, Coburn Town. A pair of 84s in Port Nelson and in Deadman's Key, Long Island. Southeast Bahamas, 83 in Duncantown, 84s in Colonel Hill, Delectable Bay, Abrahams Bay, and in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos, 86 in Matthewtown, Inagua. Satellite and radar composite at this time. Broad area of high pressure continuing to suppress any type of shower activity across our area. Stick around, we'll tell you more about this and extended forecast.
Coming up in sports, it's an all BAISS affair as we crown our first winners at the New Providence Junior High School Soccer Championships.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very...
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Martinut. Let's do show. It was a thrilling milestone for youth soccer in the Bahamas as two schools clinched the inaugural New Providence Junior High School Soccer Championship titles. In the junior girls final, Windsor schools showcased their dominance they displayed all season long with a commanding 4-0 win over the St. Andrews Hurricanes. Meanwhile, in the junior boys, the Laifiki Dragons emerged victorious in a closely contested match, edging out the Anatole Rogers T-Wolves 4-3.
The Bahamas is heading back to the world stage in equestrian. 4 of the top junior riders have been selected to represent Team Bahamas at the FFE World Clubs Mondial Tournament this July in Le Mont-Bavon, France. This year's team features Sienna Jones, Marlo Pinder, Alana Pyfron, and Connor Watkins.
In NCAA track and field action, Bahamian athletes are competing at the regional prelims, looking to advance to the finals of the D1 Outdoor Championships. At the West Prelims, it took just one throw for Nebraska's Keyshawn Strawn to secure his spot in the javelin final at the NCAA Champs. Also at the West Prelims, DePaul's Demetrius Roll advanced to the Friday's quarterfinal of the 100 meters. Roll finished 7th in his heat and 17th overall in 10.39 seconds. At the East Prelims, Louisiana Tech's Oscar Smith has the top time headed into the quarterfinals of the 110 hurdles. He won his first round heat in a personal best time of 13.52 seconds and returns Friday for his opportunity to advance to the final.
Jonquil Jones continues to make history in the WNBA. In the New York Liberty's latest game against the Golden State Valkyries, Jones passed Brittany Griner for 20th on the WNBA all-times rebound list with 2,354.
That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as a Colorado man is sentenced to over 200 years in prison for using a Haitian orphanage as a front to abuse vulnerable children. Plus, desperate Palestinians in Rafah scramble for food aid, the first major distribution in weeks now under Israeli army control. And then later, in our Sustainability First segment, a competition for high schoolers. Who can come up with the best project for a sustainable future? Stick around. All that and much more when Our News returns.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on my services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. Internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
That was Judah saying, my name is Judah the Lion. I am Shadford. That's Kennison. This is Charlie Bahama. You know what's going on.
Right, look at this could be a show. We're here at Carnival because we have talent in the house. You know our Carnival has talented different people. We have talented different people. Not me. I'm just here to hold the mic for these three gentlemen here. Charlie Bahama this week right here at Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
Well, we turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Well, a Colorado man will spend the rest of his life in prison for sexually abusing children at a Haitian orphanage he ran for more than 20 years. Federal prosecutors say 73-year-old Michael Gillenfeld, who founded the St. Joseph's Home for Boys in Haiti, used the shelter as a front to abuse vulnerable children sexually, physically, and emotionally. He was convicted earlier this year on multiple counts of sex abuse between 2005 and 2010, each tied to a different victim. The Justice Department called the crimes intolerable. He's been sentenced to 210 years in federal prison. New video shows desperate Palestinians in Rafah scrambling for food aid, the first major distribution in weeks, now under Israeli army control. Reuters footage obtained earlier this week shows crowds clutching boxes of flour, oil, and canned goods. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation says it's handed out over 8,000 boxes. That's nearly 500,000 meals after nearly 3 months of blockade. Critics, including the United Nations, are boycotting the effort, saying aid should be independent and not managed by a party to the conflict. Mexican teachers are ramping up pressure on the government with nationwide protests and a sit-in in Mexico City. On Monday, they marched to key institutions vowing to stay until their demands are met. President Claudia Sheinbaum says the government can't afford the changes they're calling for. For nearly 2 weeks, members of the teachers' union have camped out in Zocalo Square demanding the repeal of a 2007 law that raised the retirement age and a 2019 educational reform. Adidas has confirmed a cyber attack has compromised customer data, but says no passwords or payment info were stolen. According to company information, the breach affected people who contacted its help desk. Now, Adidas says it stemmed a third-party service provider and is working with cybersecurity experts to investigate. Customers are being urged to watch for suspicious activity and scams linked to the hack. Adidas joins a growing list of retailers hit by cyber attacks through its operations, and many of the company's operations, though, appear unaffected. And now back here at home, some high school students were recently awarded for their projects promoting sustainable future. Well, in an RBC-sponsored program, our Berthany McDermott had an opportunity to feature the winners in this edition of Sustainability First.
The Royal Bank of Canada challenged high school teens through its Young Leaders program to develop projects that could help shape a sustainable future for the Bahamas. Young leaders had time to put their plans together and showcase them to a panel of judges. RBC highlighting students from Temple Christian School, C.I. Gibson Senior High School, St. John's College, and C.V. Bethel High School. The students telling us about the journey.
Our project is a greenhouse with a drip irrigation system. We came up with this project because we have a garden at Temple Christian, but it's kind of undeveloped. So we strive to develop that into a greenhouse.
Our project is a water purification system. So basically, we're just digging a water well, and then it goes to a water purification system. Then it will be usable for students and people and communities.
So we decided to turn the lunch food, the bones, all that into compost, and just use it to clean up the school, beautify it, basically.
Out of all the submissions, St. John's College water purification system emerged victorious. Students earned the top prize of $15,000 to bring the project to life. Temple Christian came in second, winning $10,000, while C.I. Gibson came in third, winning $5,000. Climate and environmental activist Amber Turner encouraging students to stay on the climate-friendly path.
A sustainable future is not some faraway fantasy. It's a series of everyday choices. How we build, how we grow, how we live.
RBC Managing Director and Vice President of Personal Banking for the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, Erica Roll, emphasized that the future belongs to those who dare to dream, innovate, and act.
Investing in our youth isn't just an act of hope. It's a declaration that the future will be shaped by those willing to step up. I'm inspired by the energy and the passion by the participating schools. Your projects are proof that our youth are not only dreaming of a better tomorrow, they are actively creating it.
Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Berthany McDermott.
And still to come in Our News, Today in History, find out interesting facts about the day that was May 29th. And then in Our News at 7:30, we're back on reactions to that budget communication yesterday. Some Grand Bahamians weighing in on the proposed new VAT cuts and duty exemptions. That's coming up when Our News returns.
That was Judah saying, my name is Judah the Lion. I am Shadford. That's Kennison. This is Charlie Bahama. You know what's going on.
Right, look at this could be a show. We're here at Carnival because we have talent in the house. You know our Carnival has talented different people. We have talented different people. Not me. I'm just here to hold the mic for these three gentlemen here. Charlie Bahama this week right here at Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
Hello, I'm Jerome Sawyer, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you want to continue to receive this great content, be sure and hit that button right over there. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way, you continue to get all of this great content from the team you already trust.
Mosquitoes becoming an issue? Struckham Commercial Pest Services is the #1 service provider for vanquishing those annoying bugs. Mosquitoes are more than a nuisance. They're also a health risk, transmitting diseases including malaria, dengue fever, and even the West Nile virus. With accredited verified training and technology, Struckham will deal with the conditions that invite mosquitoes, tackle current infestations, and stop their life cycle, therefore reducing the number of mosquitoes on your corporate property. Struckham, #1 in pest control services.
It's the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Cetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Well, on this day in Bahamian history in 1930, what is known as the Lillian G. Ware Coakley Southern Public Library was officially opened as the Grantstown Public Library. Then in 2019, hundreds of hotel workers went on strike outside of the National Stadium. The union president said wages and benefits were not reflective of the so-called Bahama tourism year. And in 2020, the government's state of emergency over the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic was extended to May 30th. And finally, in 2022, Prime Minister Davis announced a crackdown on illegal weapons coming into the country. Now, for more details on the day that was May 29th, head on over to ournews.bs. Well, that does it for Our News at 7. Natalia Hall is up next. But before we toss on over to Our News at 7:30, it's time for Thursday is the New Friday. Entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller was in Marsh Harbor today, very busy. But before she left, she was nice enough to send this preview for the weekend.
I am at Thrissies in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. I have a great job. I was in Miami on Sunday for Best of the Best, and now I'm in Abaco on Thursday. But it's not all fun and games. There is this lady inside of our office named Jasmine who always is harassing me to make sure my stories are in on time. But Jasmine, I'm just giving you this note right now. Saturday night, I party in. I'll be on Blackbeard's Revenge with SPI for their event Lush, having the time of my life, preparing for their next event, Sausage and Grits, where they will be having a special performer. And if you want to know more about that, go and watch Thursday is the New Friday on our social media platforms, where you will find out what else I'll be doing this weekend and also a highlight of what happened last weekend. And speaking of highlights, do not move. Stay tuned for our 7:30 p.m. broadcast for your weekly dose of entertainment news, where I got the opportunity to interview reggae royalty. All right, guys and gals, you know the drill. Until next weekend, maybe I'll be back in Nassau. Deuces. Back to you in studio, guys.
I don't know how it is.
Daddy is a lot.
Daddy gets to have so much fun.
Much fun.
On the job. But, that's how I really plan out my weekend, Thursdays and Friday.
Sure.
I keep feeling like it's the weekend, but we've got one more day.
We're almost there. Thursday, Friday, Junior.
Most definitely. Well, stay tuned for Thursday is a New Friday to see more of Danielle's escapades. But for now, Natalia.
Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News at 7:30.
Heavy fines, more penalties, and even confiscating their jet skis. Tonight on Our News, jet ski operators react to the Prime Minister's announcement and his budget contribution that they'll be cracking down on these operators. Stay tuned tonight.
Also, our news team hit the streets of Grand Bahama to find out how residents are feeling about the Prime Minister's budget communication. Plus, a new $2.4 million contract is paving the way for better access to clean water in South and Central Eleuthera. What this means for residents coming up when Our News at 7:30 returns.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Italia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Are you ready for the...
Welcome to Our News. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Italia Hall. Jet ski operators are welcoming government's decision to crack down on illegal operators. The Prime Minister announcing yesterday during his budget communication that strict fines and confiscations are coming. They say while they agree that rules need to be in place, there are other concerns that need attention. Our Joshua Williams was on Goodman's Bay this morning to get their response.
In his lengthy budget communication yesterday, Prime Minister Philip Davis touching on a number of areas, one of them the regulation of the water sports industry. Davis says they're cracking down on jet ski operators who break the law. Those caught in violation will face fines and fixed penalties. Owner of Action 242 Water Sports, Renrick Roll Jr., says contrary to popular belief, operators are in support.
The government needs to do what they need to do in order to keep everything in order, especially being so close to America. And them having to be involved right now with everything because of what happened, then it cracks down and keeps us in line, and it makes sure everybody's in line and stays in line.
The Prime Minister also announcing the creation of a maritime revenue unit within the Ministry of Finance. Police and Defense Force officers now have the power to issue notices, impound non-compliant vehicles, and where necessary, dispose of them at the owner's expense.
We've actually seen this happen already. The Defense Force are out here. The police are out here patrolling every day, and they make sure that we are safe out here. The guests are safe, and they do it every day. So it's welcome to us.
And while operators welcome the rule enforcement, there's still the challenge of offloading their jet skis every day, a tedious process that has them lifting the boats from the back of a truck onto a makeshift dolly, dragging them across the sand.
We have been asking for them to clear the ramp because the sand makes it difficult for us to bring jet skis every day. My company, myself, we have around 15 jet skis we have to put down every day.
And while many things need to be addressed, for water sports operators, they say educating the nation's youth on how to operate these craft is just as important.
At least have more programs that can, if someone wants to be involved in jet ski operation, they can have a training in that instead of people just coming out and not knowing what's going on.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that, Josh. Well, the Prime Minister is promising relief for Bahamians in the upcoming budget with new VAT cuts and duty exemptions designed to make everyday living more affordable. Our news team hit the streets of Grand Bahama to find out how residents feel about the proposed changes. From baby products to building supplies, Prime Minister Philip Davis says relief is on the way. In his budget communication this week, he revealed a long list of VAT reductions and duty exemptions aimed at easing the cost of living. Executive Director of Government Public Policy Institute at the University of the Bahamas and Grand Bahama resident Zhivago Lang says this is good news for many.
For people looking to save cost on items that they have to purchase.
But not everyone's convinced. The opposition has dismissed the budget as a pre-election gimmick, accusing the Davis administration of being out of touch with the realities Bahamians face.
It is noteworthy that some of the products on which the government is reducing duty from 10% to 5% were one time 0% in the former administration. And so, people who were enjoying the benefit of 0% are not yet back to that 0%. I don't get excited about a planned surplus. I don't, for the simple reason that ministers of finance historically over the years in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas have not been very good at meeting their targets.
The Prime Minister also reignited his stance against the Grand Bahama Port Authority, claiming his administration is the first to truly confront the entity's role on the island. And with new projects like Celebration Key and a signed agreement for the Grand Lucaine Resort now in motion, some, like Grand Bahama attorney Rangan Johnson, believes Grand Bahama is indeed on the rise.
Every single investor, in my humble opinion, was very transparent and committed to come here to invest and to bring our income into a wonderful experience that we will able to go back to the old days where people had 3 jobs at a time.
But for many, the proof will be in the execution. This, as Grand Bahama resident C. Alan Johnson says, he doesn't believe the budget focused on Grand Bahama.
The things that was promised over the last 3 years for Grand Bahama, we haven't seen much of them come to fruition, nor have we saw any type of implementable strategies that Bahamians themselves can buy into. More specifically for the economy, we often told, prepare yourself, prepare yourself, prepare yourself. But no one has come forward to tell us what we should prepare for beyond the announcement of investors who will be doing things for their own vision as opposed to us having a vision for Grand Bahama.
All right, now turning to Eleuthera, about 80 homes on that island will have access to running water, some of them for the first time. The Bahama Striping Group of companies signing a $2.4 million contract with Rowdy Boys Construction to install water lines throughout South and Central Eleuthera. It's a continuation of several public-private partnerships between BSGC and small subcontractors who are carrying out the work on Eleuthera and Exuma. Newly appointed Chief Financial Officer of the construction company, Jalen Knowles, explains what the new signing means for residents.
Let that sink in. Generations of Bahamians in this area will now have something as basic and as vital as a reliable water supply. This is something that we have recently done in the community of Baritari Exuma, contracted by Water and Sewage Corporation, and it brings a great pleasure to us and a pride to be involved in the much-needed improvement to these communities.
And while government has tasked them with the overall responsibility of carrying out works in those communities, Caribbean Pavement Solutions President Atario Mitchell says it's important for them to share a piece of the pie.
This project represents more than just pipes in the ground. It represents progress, partnership, and a promise of a better tomorrow. This is the power of our company's new mode of doing business through public-private partnerships, ensuring that Bahamian companies play a major part in our projects. When you look at our 3P model and how it works, we design the scope of works, we seek and secure the funding, we execute the work, and agree with the government on a repayment schedule over a multi-year period.
All right, still feeling those hot temperatures on this Friday, Junior. Hopefully things cool down slightly before the weekend. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Ian, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Natalia, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Thursday evening forecast. Outside our studios, we're under mostly clear skies with a temperature of 85. Feels like still muggy at 91. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour. Satellite and radar picture at this time. High pressure, large and in charge. Not much weather to talk about. Stick around, we'll tell you more in our extended forecast.
Still to come on our news, it's all about community. Cable Bahama steps up to support a critical service. The story behind the latest donation effort straight ahead. And later, artists lit up the stage in Miami over the Memorial Day weekend. Our Danielle Miller takes you inside the Caribbean's biggest music celebration when our news continues.
Are you ready for the stormy season?
Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
Joshua Williams here.
As brush fires continue to wreak havoc on communities across the Family Islands, Abaco continues to be one of the most islands impacted. Over the last few weeks, fires in Abaco have destroyed homes and even damaged Cable Bahamas property. Today, a team of CBL executives donated a check totaling $10,000 to the Marsh Harbor Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department, who've been instrumental in helping battle the blazes. CEO of Cable Bahamas Group of Companies, Franklin Butler, was in Abaco today to express his appreciation to the fire and rescue volunteers.
It's a pleasure to really, on behalf of the Cable Cares and the Cable Bahamas Group of Companies, to donate this $10,000 check for you guys to put in good use. And we are inviting all other corporate citizens as much as possible. There's lots that can be done, but it still boils down to volunteers and corporate partners writing checks and putting their money where their mouth is to really make sure that our community is thriving.
All right, such a great effort by the Cable Bahamas Group of Companies, and we have a lot more coming from that Abaco trip and CBL's give back to those brave volunteer firefighters. Our Daniel Miller will have a full report in tomorrow's newscast. Well, keeping Grand Bahama clean is more than just a campaign slogan. It's a daily mission for one environmental inspector. From classroom lessons to community cleanups, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is stepping up its efforts to promote sustainability, especially as major developments loom on the horizon. Our news anchor, Kendino Knowles, tells us more in tonight's edition of City in Focus.
It's a mantra she hears in her sleep.
So keep Grand Bahama clean. Do you see that in your sleep?
I do. It haunted me.
Cherish Russell is an environmental inspector at Grand Bahama Port Authority, and for more than a year, she's been one of the faces and voices behind the Keep Grand Bahama Clean campaign. But keeping the island pristine hasn't been easy.
We're seeing garbage in places we haven't seen it before. We're seeing it, it's almost as if magic. You clean up one spot and the next day, it's there again. So it woke me up to say, how can we combat this issue and quickly?
It's a challenge that's decades in the making and one the campaign tackles head on. From community cleanups to education in the classroom, Russell believes the real change begins with the next generation.
Different science projects we've given to the students to do, different initiatives such as make reusable items or make items from garbage. So they've made dresses, they've made hats, they've made different artifacts.
And it's not just about creativity, it's about connecting the dots between what's thrown away and what we rely on to survive.
I spoke to a grade 10 last week and they weren't aware of the fact that we get our water from underneath us. So that hit home to them because if you litter above the land, somehow it'll end up into our water system and maybe into our homes and make us sick.
And that connection is beginning to stick with projects like canal sweeps, coastal cleanups, and even curbside removal of bulky waste like mattresses and appliances. As major developments like Celebration Key and a revamped Grand Lucayan move forward, Russell says sustainability must come with the growth. She says GBPA already working with developers on waste mitigation efforts.
If they are willing to facilitate anything new, we welcome that as well with the guidelines. So we offer them guidelines that they should follow, that we want them to follow to not aid the problem in growing.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Candino Knowles.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, titles are decided at the New Providence Junior High School Soccer Championships. Equestrian Bahamas names its latest national team, and we get an update from Bahamian student athletes at the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championship Prelims.
Mosquitoes becoming an issue? Struckham Commercial Pest Services is the #1 service provider for vanquishing those annoying bugs. Mosquitoes are more than a nuisance. They're also a health risk, transmitting diseases including malaria, dengue fever, and even the West Nile virus. With accredited verified training and technology, Struckham will deal with the conditions that invite mosquitoes, tackle current infestations, and stop their life cycle, therefore reducing the number of mosquitoes on your corporate property. Struckham, #1 in pest control services.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise. Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set them all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set them all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. It was a thrilling milestone for youth soccer in the Bahamas as two schools clinched the inaugural New Providence Junior High School Soccer Championship titles. In the junior girls final, Windsor schools showcased their dominance they displayed all season long with a commanding 4-0 win over the St. Andrews Hurricanes. Multiple sports star Emma Johnston delivered an MVP performance and scored her team's first goal of the match. Emma Haler scored 2 goals and Isabel Kennedy added the 4th. Meanwhile, in the junior boys, the Laifiki Dragons emerged victorious in a closely contested match, edging out the Anatole Rogers T-Wolves 4-3. Dirk Simmons delivered an MVP performance for the Dragons with his hat-trick. A back-and-forth contest was tied 2-2 at intermission before Simmons scored the go-ahead goal late in the second half. Attention now shifts to the seniors, who hosted their semi-final matches this afternoon. We'll give you full details on who will take the pitch in tomorrow's final.
The Bahamas is heading back to the world stage in equestrian. 4 of the top junior riders have been selected to represent Team Bahamas at the FFE World Clubs Mondial Tournament this July in Le Mont-Bavon, France. This year's team features Sienna Jones, Marlo Pinder, Alana Pyfron, and Connor Watkins. They'll look to build on the momentum of last year's historic run when the Bahamas made its debut at the tournament and captured a bronze medal. That 2024 squad included Katarina Coelho, Emma Johnston, Ella Sadi, and Sienna Tinker, as they made a statement in the global show jumping arena.
In NCAA track and field action, Bahamian athletes are competing at the regional prelims, looking to advance to the finals of the D1 Outdoor Championships. At the West Prelims, it took just one throw for Nebraska's Keyshawn Strawn to secure his spot in the javelin final at the NCAA Champs. On his opening attempt, Strawn recorded a leading throw of 76.97 meters and heads into the final looking to improve on last year's 5th place finish. He has a season-leading throw of 81.01 meters, the second leading mark in the NCAA. Also at the West Prelims, DePaul's Demetrius Roll advanced to Friday's quarterfinal of the 100 meters. Roll finished 7th in his heat and 17th overall in 10.39 seconds. He'll need a top 12 finish on Friday to advance to the finals. At the East Prelims, Louisiana Tech's Oscar Smith has the top time headed into the quarterfinals of the 110 hurdles. He won his first round heat in a personal best time of 13.52 seconds and returns Friday for his opportunity to advance to the final. Like Roll, he needed a top 12 finish to do so. The NCAA Division I Men's and Women's Outdoor Championships will be hosted June 11th to 14th at the University of Oregon in Eugene, Oregon.
Jonquil Jones continues to make history in the WNBA. In the New York Liberty's latest game against the Golden State Valkyries, Jones passed Brittany Griner for 20th on the WNBA all-times rebound list with 2,354.
It's a big part of what I do and what I've been able to do throughout my career. And I think it's something that I have to continue to focus on with our team this year to make sure that we as post players are crashing the boards, finishing possessions, and allowing us to run in transition.
That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. You know, when I left, I thought St. Andrews was supposed to dominate soccer nationals. What happened?
They're missing the key piece.
Who?
Me.
Graduated like 30 years ago. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, artists lit up the stage in Miami over the Memorial Day weekend. Our Daniel Miller takes you inside the Caribbean's biggest music celebration when Our News continues. Stay with us.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
That was Judah saying, my name is Judah the Lion. I am Shadford. That's Kennison. This is Charlie Bahama. You know what's going on.
Right, look at this could be a show. We're here at Carnival because we have talent in the house. You know our Carnival has talented different people. We have talented different people. Not me. I'm just here to hold the mic for these three gentlemen here. Charlie Bahama this week right here at Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
Hello, I'm Jerome Sawyer, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you want to continue to receive this great content, be sure and hit that button right over there. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way, you continue to get all of this great content from the team you already trust.
Thanks for sticking with us, folks. Now here's a look at your extended forecast where we continue to have this persistent area of broad high pressure suppressing shower activity across our area. Boating forecast across the northwest and central Bahamas at this time. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4 feet. High tide at 10:45 p.m. tonight, low tide at 5:19 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the southeast Bahamas, we have that caution in place for you boaters. There is a risk of rip currents for you swimmers. Winds will be easterly at 15 to 20 knots falling off late tomorrow. Seas will be running 4 to 6 feet over the ocean. Here's a look at your national forecast. And in your extended forecast, expect the sunshine to continue through about Sunday. Uptick in moisture across our area. Walk with your umbrella into the start of next week. Those highs will remain in the mid-80s to low 90s, and the heat indices could reach into the mid-90s, folks. So stay hydrated throughout the course of the week and into next week. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
All right, thanks so much, Ian. Well, thousands from across the region and the world gathering in Miami this past Memorial Day weekend to attend the 19th annual Best of the Best concert. The show highlighting rising stars who spectators believe will carry the rich heritage of the culture. Our Daniel Miller was in Miami for the exciting event.
The Best of the Best Music Fest for 2025 is officially done, and one word, massive. We watched a disruption of Caribbean culture hit Bayfront Park, and legends like Buju Banton, Marcia Griffith, Barris Harmon, Wayne Wonder, Nadine Sutherland all hit that stage, as well as some upcoming legends I know you should pay attention to. Hosted by the renowned Jabba, the Miami concert was a surreal moment for Caribbean music lovers. It was an evening of nostalgia as the headliners graced the stage. But before they delivered their electrifying sets, there were several up-and-coming artists who charged the atmosphere with fiery performances. Some of them born into reggae royalty, like Major Major, the son of Bounty Killer, and Jermary Morgan, the son of Gramps Morgan.
Very emotional for me because my brother's not here in the flesh, but he's here in the spirit, and I felt him here tonight with my son here as he take the stage to carry on the legacy of the family.
When do you ever have a father and son performer like that? You know what I mean? So that always having him here with me to support me in every aspect of my life is always a blessing.
Rising from the ranks of opening act to headliner this year was Romain Virgo. Romain telling me that when he first performed on the Best of the Best stage, he was met by the applause of 5 people. At this year's concert, I witnessed a crowd of 20,000 fans roar as the rising superstar took the stage, welcoming what could be the next generation of Caribbean music legends.
All I know, it's an amazing feeling. You know, it's like a dream come true. At the end of the day, as I said, the first time there was nobody, and it's not nice not singing to a crowd. And over the years, we've seen the growth. You know, the second time around, it was a bit better. The third time, it was much better. And just look at me now. Consistency is the key in everything that we're doing.
Keep blazing your fire, fire, fire. Blazing your fire, fire, fire.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller. All right, Danny, thanks so much. That story is definitely bringing back childhood memories, but looks like you had a great time. Wish I was there. Of course, if you want to see that story again, it's available now at ournews.bs. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for Our News Tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.